What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
And it's Lance, and this is Metal Talk for Metal in Arms. Now, last week we talked about our top 5 bands. We went through all that. This week, Braden's obviously not with us, couldn't make it, so it's just Alex and I today. So we're gonna go through my top 5 bassists and Alex's top 5 guitarists. Obviously, because I'm a bassist, he's a guitarist. We wanted to do the opposite.
No,
So
it'd be interesting though.
that would be really interesting.
We'll save that for later.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get right into this. My number 5 bassist is Fieldy from Korn.
Good choice.
I picked him because he just has a unique sound with the slap and picking. People like to
Right.
talk so much smack on him because they think he's just a horrible bassist, which they're wrong. They're just hypocritical. Not
Yeah,
hypocritical. They just don't know.
they're just critics.
They just don't like him because he's a metal bassist that slaps and picks.
Yeah, he's,
But I mean, the way he experiments with his sound, with the effects that he
that's all
uses,
right though.
yeah,
Even though it's not a metal band, but Pink Floyd did the same thing, and they got some great songs. So I don't see
yeah,
why people talk smack about Philly doing the same thing to make
yeah.
great
It's
songs
only
for
because it's
Korn.
metal.
I mean, you're always gonna have critics for. So
But
I think he's great.
I mean, he's an awesome slap and pick player in my opinion.
Yeah,
You hear songs like "Got the Life" or "Freak on a Leash" or "Blind" or "Clown." Almost any Korn song you hear Fieldy's bass. It's almost one of those things like you recognize and you don't even have to know it's
it's like
Korn.
you almost hear it before you hear the guitar, kind of thing.
It
It's like it's
Fieldy,
signature for Korn.
yeah, it's kind of like their label in a way. Like a band like right when they come on the radio, like a
Yeah,
Slipknot or a Metallica
right.
or just almost any of those bands. That label just from the sound. That's how it is with Fieldy for me. I know his bass parts almost when I hear them. I can
Right.
almost even like almost singleize it or solo it rather. I don't know how to put it.
Well,
But I mean, that it's just I love him. I love his bass playing because
it's
of the experimentation that he gets.
always great to experiment. But anyways, on my number 5, I have Marty Friedman, former guitarist for Megadeth.
Influential.
Oh, very influential. The guy really has no limitations. There's nothing holding him back as far as guitar playing goes. Just watching tutorials from him, trying to learn how he does things,
Right.
I could see that from him. Uh, my favorite period for Megadeth was basically the time he was there.
The
I
rest in
mean,
peace
plus
era.
the era before that too. But Marty Friedman definitely
Marty Friedman
has
was
an
part of the
influence
most
there.
successful Megadeth era.
Yeah,
I mean, you had those early classics, the
like
Killing Is My Business, Business is Good, So Far
right.
So Good So What, Peace Sells. I mean, they all had, their own special kind of sound.
Yeah.
But do you know the lead guitarist from those eras?
I don't think I do. But anyway, like without Marty Friedman, you wouldn't have. Well, I'm sure you'd still have the same songs, but you wouldn't have the unique sound. It's
Mm-hmm.
uh, like in A Tout Le Monde,
Tulamone, like
uh,
Hangar
Hangar
18,
18. It's a,
really that whole Rust in Peace
yes,
album,
yes. Uh,
the Symphony of Destruction
Symphony of
solo.
Destruction.
God,
He really in his the video tutorials I watched, he said he really didn't go by any pattern. He liked to throw in different patterns to make it.
mm-hmm.
That's what made his stuff sound so unique. And even though he's not in metal now, he's still a huge influence on me. I mean, number 5.
Almost on anyone. I mean,
Yeah,
when you listen to the Big Four and you listen to Megadeth, I mean, you're either going to listen to Peace Sells first or you're going to listen to Rust in Peace. You're
yeah,
going to listen to one of those two albums. I mean, those were the first
at
two albums I
least.
listened to when I listened to Megadeth.
Right. And yeah,
Mm-hmm. So coming in at my number 4 is Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath. He's just one of those bassists that even though time has made him older, it has not changed his bass playing whatsoever. Which I
right.
think is just so badass that he can still put out those bass
Oh
lines
yeah,
that he wrote in the '70s. I mean,
it's all right though.
you listen to War Pigs or Paranoid or Iron Man or Sweet Leaf, Symphony just or what's the song? Symphony.
and you know I don't.
Symptom of the Universe. Sorry, I was.
We're still stuck on Megadeth, I think. But
Or what's the other song? Children of the Grave. I mean, they're all.
he
It's
was very influential as a bassist. As his sound hasn't changed in uh, like 40 years, some years now.
40, almost 50 years.
Which is I think is a pretty cool thing because
Mhm.
everyone's trying to make their sound better, which is also cool. I mean, for him, everyone's used to hearing those old Black Sabbath songs, and when you hear the new thing, you don't
God,
hear
and that
nothing.
new album is just amazing.
It's great. Yeah,
I mean, you seriously hear that Black Sabbath with Ozzy that you heard in the
yeah,
70s, which I think is just amazing. I give congrats for that
yeah,
record because
and that's
30 years in
probably,
the making.
and I'm sure that's something people have been looking forward to for a long time.
Very long
But
time. I mean, you see the Black Sabbath reunions and everyone would want a new album, but it just didn't happen until now,
yeah,
which I thought was just purely
but
amazing. But I mean, he's one of those huge influential bassists for almost any metal bassist. Because again, Black Sabbath is one of those first metal bands that
yeah.
you listen to.
I mean, it's got to be. I mean, their music's everywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
They've become iconic.
The
So
Godfathers.
yeah. But anyway, my number 4 is Mark Morton from Lamb of God.
So shredtastic.
Uh, well, I guess where do I begin with him? The guy, I love the heavy riffs he cranks out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's technical, but it's not
It's
technical.
heavy
It's
technical.
heavy technical. That's a good way to put it. I like that. That sounds better than the way I was putting it. He just cranks them out. And I don't have nothing against Willie Adler. The guys,
No.
they're both equally badasses, but to have them both in my top 5 would be a little repetitive on
Yeah.
some of the things we say.
I mean, just all around, every solo that he cranks out is just amazing.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, I
And
always have to talk about the Set to Fail solo.
yeah, but that's all right because that's a good song. Their rhythm patterns in Laid to Rest, not to mention the shredding riffs that they pull out in that song,
Mm-hmm.
are
Also in
amazing.
Ghost Walking,
Ghost Walking is another
that
great one.
beginning like
That
acoustic
intro
part,
is
and
that blew
then
my mind.
yeah, it's just, I mean, even
Uh,
that whole Resolution album is
yes,
just so
that's
amazing.
I love any Lamb of God
So
period,
so do
but
I. I mean, it's just those riffs are just so crazy.
they're crazy. They're fast. I mean, what more can you expect from America's metal band?
I am
You know?
the American tradition of Lamb of God.
Yeah.
Coming in at my number 3 is Steve Harris from Iron Maiden. Also, one of those huge bassists that I first really started to listen to.
Yeah.
And, Steve Harris with his gallop with his 3 ringers, his index, his middle, and his ring finger. It's just so unique, and it's again one of those labels that you
Yeah.
always know.
It's
I mean, even over the triple guitar attack, you can hear Steve Harrison's bass
yeah.
parts with them. He also harmonizes
It's
with them
very
sometimes,
apparent. Yeah.
which
Like
is
his
crazy.
that is very crazy for a bassist, and it's just you hear Gallop, you're like, oh, that must be Iron Maiden,
Honestly,
especially if
he's
it's
kind of,
fast.
in my opinion, he's kind of the metal bassist.
Yeah, that's a good. I'd say so as well. He plays fast.
He plays fast.
Uh,
He still looks
I
metal after
he's
40
right. He looks the
years.
same after 40 years, just about.
Just the hair color has
Yeah,
changed.
just I mean, you get a little gray, but
Other than that, he
so,
still wears like the spandex pants.
yeah, that's crazy. But
But I mean, songs like "Run to the Hills,"
Run to the
"Fear in the
Hills,
Dark,"
the Trooper.
"The Trooper," uh, "Running Free."
We could literally sit here and name
I
every
can
Iron Maiden song there is.
literally, but I mean that would
I
take way too
mean,
long, and people don't have that much time.
I don't think they could just. You guys can listen to Iron Maiden.
Just look up Iron
If
Maiden.
you haven't already, you should because it's a part of metal life
Hmm.
nowadays.
You gotta.
But
It's that piece of the puzzle you gotta have.
yeah, he's very influential. The way he keeps up with drums and just
God,
harmonizing
so
with the
crazy.
guitarists is it's a very amazing aspect to that band. He's
Hmm.
also a very good bassist.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is 3.
Yeah.
My number 3 is Zach Wild.
Very metal guitarist.
Yes, you probably if you don't know him, you probably heard him in
You've
most
probably
of
been in a hole.
yeah something yeah. But he's either with Ozzy or with Black Label.
Or his own
Usually,
solo stuff.
most of the stuff you hear by Ozzy nowadays is
Zach
Zach
Wild.
Wild.
Well, nowadays it's Gus G.
Well, yeah, but I mean, no, he's not touring right
Yeah.
now.
Just Black Sabbath.
So Gus G's kind of fucked. Let's be honest. Let's let's get past that though. Where do I start with him? I love the pentatonic shred.
Yeah.
The sound is very bluesy, bringing a blues aspect
His
into
pinch
the.
harmonics.
Those also are
That is Zach
amazing.
Wild's label right
That
there.
yeah, he's so great at those. Not like
It,
everything about his playing is
I mean, those
perfect.
pinches he can do literally anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't
And
matter if it's on the first fret or if he has like a
not to
27th
mention that's
fret.
something that takes a lot of
Years.
practice to master. And his riff, the way some of his riffs are the most like the picking patterns
Yeah.
are crazy. The other stuff he throws in there, like I mean, you hear work with other artists. Like there's that dope song that he
Yeah.
plays with.
My Addiction.
Crazy,
Oh my
just
god.
a really crazy riff.
He's also on that Black Veil Brides cover of Kisses Unholy. And wow.
Oh, I haven't heard that one yet,
It's
but I would
crazy.
like
You
to
gotta
check it
check it
out.
out.
But yeah, he's iconic. He's one of those big inspirations of mine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Just all around from being an
I
Ozzy and
mean,
Black Label. I mean,
yeah.
God, if it wasn't for Ozzy, Black Label probably wouldn't have been as big as they are.
Well, I think we're still talking about Zach Wild.
Yeah,
Regardless, Black Label would have
but
been
if you
around.
think
But
about it, if it wasn't for Ozzy's exposure,
yeah, he. But I mean, he was in another band before Black Label, so
I don't even know the band name for
I
that.
don't know. But that it was a Southern
But I
rock
mean,
band.
yeah, I mean it's Zach Wild though.
But yeah, he was a pretty big inspiration for me to pick up guitar. But
Right, yeah. For almost for anyone now.
yeah,
Anyone who wants to be a shredder, really.
that's who I would go after, as a matter of fact. But,
So coming into my number two is Ryan Martini from Mudvayne. He's literally the reason why I wanted to learn slap and pick on
right.
bass because, God, I mean, listen to Dig. That whole song that he does on bass is just wild. I mean, God, I barely learned how to play it.
A lot of Mudvayne songs are crazy with the bass, like Death Blooms.
Death
It's one of those
Blooms,
crazy ones.
uh, Happy, Determined.
Just about any of their songs really because
Mm-hmm.
they incorporate those weird time signatures.
Fish Out of
But
Water, Scream With Me. I mean,
I mean, he's all around badass. He's fast. He's got technical aspects to it.
yeah, I mean, he uses his whole right hand to play
Yeah,
rather than
and
most bassists that just probably use these
yeah,
two
just
fingers in
two.
their lifetime. I mean, he uses every single finger.
Well, I mean, when you're a musician, you gotta. I don't know how to put it exactly, but
You gotta,
you know where I'm coming
you
from
kind of,
there.
you gotta literally learn almost anything you can.
Yeah, the more you know, the better off you'll be. So I think he took that
He took that way
extremely.
to advantage. I
Yeah,
mean, the guy is, I think he did a lot of jazz bass. He learned a lot of that, and he learned a lot of classical guitar.
we'll see. All those are all things that'll help being. I mean, how to share this? Being musically diverse can really help a player out,
It
and
does. It
in that
does really.
aspect, it has helped him quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's
And
made him.
jazz isn't easy to play.
It's not. I tried learning it. I mean, it's still so hard for
Yeah,
anyone to learn. But I mean, God, his bass parts. I mean, they're just crazy. You know, Ryan Martini is one of the reasons why I picked up a 5-string bass.
yeah,
Cliff Burton made me pick up a 4-string. Ryan Martini made me pick up a 5-string because I wanted
right.
to learn some of these crazy bass parts.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a whole different video
Yeah,
again.
no kidding. But my number two is Dimebag Darrell from
Mm-hmm.
Pantera and Damage Plan. Any song with him on it is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
He also, I mean, depending on what you're listening to, he incorporates that melodic, mellow
Right.
sounds. But overall, he's heavy. His technique with the whammy and the wah
His
and the
pinches as
pinches,
well.
yeah. I mean, you can tell that him and Zach Wild were close
Oh yeah.
just by the way they play guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But he's another one of those that use that pentatonic shred along with, I mean, other scales, of course, because I mean it's good to be diverse in that
Right.
aspect. But he took it to a whole nother level with the heaviness and the shredding.
I
and the
mean,
wah.
and his riffs, I mean, they just punch you in the face
Yeah,
every time you listen to it.
like Drag the Waters,
That yeah, the,
Walk.
Drag the Waters. I mean,
Sleepy.
right off the bat, it just punches you in
I
the
mean,
face.
basically from Cowboys from Hell on, and then
Almost, literally all of Pantera's
yeah,
albums.
all of their albums, and then all of Damage Plan.
Yeah, it's
All
all
heavy.
just so heavy,
It's
and
raw. It's great.
he
I love it
reinvented metal guitar in the '90s
for sure.
when it desperately needed it.
Yeah, that was he
I mean,
saved metal guitar.
yeah, because metal, at the beginning of the '90s was kind of on a life support
Yeah.
because all the glam bands were straight up going down, and next thing you
Mhm.
know, Pantera comes along and Dimebag bust out Cowboys from Hell, and the rest
I
is
mean, yeah,
history.
no kidding.
So my number one is Cliff Burton from Metallica. Like I said in last week's video, he's the reason why I picked up a bass guitar. It's
Yeah.
Metallica, like I also said, was one of the first metal bands I ever listened to, so
Right.
I was introduced to Cliff Burton like almost right
And
away.
yeah, and not to mention, you start listening to Metallica, you listen to their older stuff, and that's
hmm
where the
That's where
first
all
three
the gold
albums
is.
was all Cliff, and the guy was a beast,
He was. I
to
mean,
say the least.
when he could match the rhythm of James Hetfield and Kirk
Mhm.
Hammett just with two fingers,
Yeah. Not
it's
to
just.
mention like his solo stuff as well.
I
It's
mean, you
like
listen to Anesthesia Pulling Teeth, the beginning to For Whom the Bell Tolls,
right.
the bass solo that he has in Orion on Master of Puppets. Literally,
Hmm.
though, each album he has a unique kind of bass solo in it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
Anesthesia Pulling Teeth is just a full song of his
right,
solo.
and like, and if you didn't know better, you'd think it's a guitar.
Yeah,
Like
because
that's
of
what's
how much
crazy about it.
distortion that he uses.
Yeah,
It's
and the
just so
wah is
crazy.
he's. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he even influenced guitarists.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I looked up to him, and almost any bassist interview that I
Right.
watch with him, they probably end up mentioning Cliff Burton. Because I mean, almost any band you listen to nowadays, or you watch interviews with bands, they'll talk
Hmm.
about Metallica and how much of an influence that Metallica had on them. And when you talk
Right.
about Metallica, they talk about most of the time Kill 'Em All because that's the first
Yeah.
record they ever listened to.
Yeah.
So he's just one of those bassists that he's been dead for almost
Hmm.
30 years
Right.
now, and he's still
And
influencing me.
and I'm sure he's influencing more. You know.
Yeah, almost any
Uh,
new metalhead that picks up a bass.
I mean, you got to listen to him then because
hmm
he he was so influential in that aspect.
Right.
But anyway, my number one is Randy Rhoads, and if you don't exactly know who he is, this was Ozzy's first guitar player when he went solo after Black Sabbath.
The reason why you picked up a
Yeah,
guitar.
this is my reason for picking up guitar. He was the first time I heard his work, I had just bought Ozzy's first album, Blizzard of Oz.
Such an amazing record.
I listened to the whole record on the way home, and it blew my mind. Crazy Train, I
Crazy
don't know,
Train.
Suicide Solution. He, I mean, my top three guitar riffs have all had that pentatonic shred,
hmm
but Randy Rhoads also incorporated a lot of classical guitar aspects into his playing
Yeah.
as a metal guitarist.
hmm
And then even if you were to listen to D, that's a great classical piece.
Yep.
And then I
Goodbye
mean,
to Romance is an awesome classical piece.
Goodbye to Romance is awesome. Let's see.
Over the Mountain. Oh.
Oh, Over the Mountain. That's like that one was great. I don't
Flying High
know.
Again.
Flying High
That's
Again.
kind of one of those
That
80s anthems.
yeah, that's one of the best Randy Rhoads songs.
I mean, he even
Um,
said you don't have to play fast to be good.
no, and that's not the case at all. He's actually quite a badass.
Yeah, I mean,
Not to
he
mention
didn't.
he started when he was 5 or 6.
Something like
He was
that.
so young starting out, and I mean, he only had 2 years of acoustic, before he
Yeah,
started electric.
it's
So
just so crazy.
up until the point he died, he had at least.
I mean, he only put two albums out, but I
I
mean,
mean,
they were just
those two
so
albums were,
influential.
yeah, usually. I mean, most of the time when you hear Ozzy, you're hearing Zach Wild, but those those first two albums had a lot of anthems on it that
hmm
people listen to today, and that's
Almost every
Randy
song from
Rhoads.
those first two records.
They're all good.
Yeah,
there's not a single bad song off those albums.
there's not. I mean, God, I mean that was. I think that was
I
the first
mean,
Ozzy record you and I both listened to. I mean, yeah, I think that
yeah.
was the first one I listened to as well, and
Uh,
it's just so crazy.
his live stuff is amazing. Is also like
Mm-hmm.
you get the tribute album,
Oh
all those
yeah.
live songs he does. Paranoid live.
Wow.
Wow. Let me tell you, Tony Iommi is that's one of his masterpieces for being a filler track.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Rhoads
Takes it to
took
the next
a
level.
whole new level. He just oh
We that's
man,
that's something he can go into for days.
all day. He's my best, most influential reason I picked up guitar. I got a guitar just like his.
I know you got that Randy Rhoads uh, V almost.
Yeah,
The
just
polka dot.
about. It's I mean it's as close as you can get nowadays, but
So, I mean, there you have it, guys. I
it was our
mean,
top five.
our top five
Uh,
bassists and guitarists. You know,
so
it's just again like we talked about last week. So all the reasons why we picked up guitarists and bassists and why we started a band in the first place. You know, these guys and these bands are the reason why we love metal and
yeah,
have loved it, God, for 6, 7 years and however much longer for the rest of our life.
yeah, I'm betting on the rest of our life. But yeah, these now you guys understand where we're coming from with our music influences and stuff. So, uh,
You know, like I'm always gonna say this. You know, whoever's watching this, you know, I thank you guys.
yes,
Both of us thank you
we appreciate
because
the support.
you know,
Truly,
coming from Kimmel, Nebraska, almost any support is very much loved.
sucks dick.
It sucks being in the panel because you don't have that much music exposure. I mean, you
No,
get a couple local shows to come through every now and then, but you either have to travel all the way east to Omaha or you got to go to Denver
right.
just to see some good music. So, you know, thank you guys. I
Hmm.
mean, we got a little band going right now. You know, it's called Banality of Evil. You guys can go
Yes,
check them
check
out
it
on our
out.
Facebook page. Just search up Banality of Evil. We have one song up right now. You know, it's a free download, so you know what more could you want?
Yeah,
You know, a lot of things aren't
free's
free
good.
nowadays.
Yeah,
So I mean, it's an awesome song.
and we'll have more to come.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal,
we're in the
but
process of getting another song or two uploaded. You know, we just gotta find time to record and just keep watching the page. I
yeah,
mean, if you guys haven't liked it already, go like it up.
yeah. Not to mention like our Metal and Arms personal page.
Yeah, check out Metal in Arms.
Go ahead and subscribe. Check out Underground Army. We're bringing you some underground bands for you to check out. Get them some support because really that's the next generation of big bands if you think about it.
Well, that and I
So,
mean, support your local music scene
that's
because
probably you should
local
support
music,
them more than you support the bigger bands. They
mhm,
already got it made.
local bands
These guys
bust
need it.
their ass to
Yes.
bring you music. I know plenty of musicians in this area that have just busted their ass just to put out
Yeah.
a record.
So yeah, just keep your guys' eyes peeled.
Yeah,
Subscribe, like, you know. If you have any ideas for us to talk on Metal Talk, go ahead and comment or
yeah,
leave something.
comment. Send us an email.
We'll have all of that in the
I mean,
description.
whoever
So,
uses email nowadays.
uh,
I mean,
I mean,
you
I think
guys
a
can
lot of people
always
do.
message us on our band page
Or anywhere. Well,
anywhere.
you guys know how to get a hold of us. So,
I mean, it's a social network world, so if you can't find a way to get a hold of us, I mean, I don't know what you're trying to do.
but
So, I mean, we'll talk to you guys next week. Lance, Alex,
Alex,
and it's the Metal in Arms Metal Talk. See you guys later.
keep the metal.
Thanks for that.
Oh God, now I gotta stop it.
That's what she said.